Good. All right, we are here. We had some audio issues. Apologize for that, but we are here. We had of course, our Stevens Point Auto Select pre-game show earlier. Stevens Point's best choice for auto repairs, maintenance, and tires. Complete auto repair services with locations on Church Street and on Highway 10 East in Stevens Point and on Schofield Avenue in Weston. No matter your automotive needs, look to Auto Select and you're good to go. So Richter in there for called strike. It's 0-1 now to Tony Eifeldano. Wasa on the board here early, 2-0 our score. Caden Worth with that RBI double. Richter's pitch, that one misses, and it's now 1-1 here to Eifeldano, the third baseman. So we are back up and live. We're good to go. Had a brief audio issue here, but we are good to go now. Nothing to worry about there. It's 2-1 now to Eifeldano. Right-hander Zach Richter working here. Top half of inning number 1 out here at Buchholz Park here in Stevens Point. Leo Cub-Manchesky Field. Wasa with a runner in scoring position with Caden Worth down at second. The pitch from Richter hit up the middle, and that's a base hit. And Worth will be sent around here, and he is going to score. So Caden Worth scores a run on that and an RBI single for Eifeldano. So it's 3-0 now in favor of the Bulldogs here of Wasa. Wasa post 10. They are 6-5 overall. 3-0 in conference play. The Sixers 1-7 overall. 1-3 in Wisconsin Valley American Legion conference play. Richter's pitch, that one misses down, and it's 1-0 now to Ryan Rodemeyer, the catcher. The 1-0 here from Richter working out of the stretch to Rodemeyer. Pitch on the way. That one misses up high, and it's 1-1 now. Or 2-0, I beg your pardon. Ethan Sillers, the on-deck hitter here for Wasa. Richter from the stretch, runner on the move, and there's going to be a throw down, and the throw is not going to be in time, and Eifeldano is going to get second base on that. So Eifeldano with a nice move there to get the stolen base with 2 outs here. 3 runs here thus far and the 2 hits. An error as well. Richter's 2-1. That one in there for a called strike, and it's even at 2-2 now to Rodemeyer. The 2-2 from Richter coming up. Pitch on the way, that one misses high. And count now goes to full here. Full count offering, and that one is going to miss for ball 4, and a base on ball here for Rodemeyer to lock there. The first base on ball given up here by Zach Richter. That brings up the left fielder here and now, and Ethan Sillers. Ethan Sillers here with 2 outs. Maddox Hurtis in the on-deck area here for the Bulldogs. Richter's pitch, that one's going to miss low, and it's 1-0 now to Sillers. So Stevens Point, of course, played over in that Wisconsin Rapids tournament over the weekend. A couple games on Friday night, and then a couple of games on Saturday afternoon as well. That one misses. It's 2-0 now to Sillers. That ball hit on the ground is short, and not going to be able to get to that one, and that's going to allow Sillers to reach there, and Eifeldano gets to third on that one, Rodemeyer to second. And the base is loaded now for the number 9 hitter here tonight, Maddox Hurtis, second baseman here for the Bulldogs. Live look in there at Max here from From home here, the pitch from Richter. That one's going to miss down low. And Dayton Kobach, the backstop here. And it looks like we're going to get a brief mound visit. We'll keep it right here. Tonight's, again, our starting lineups were brought to you in part by Associated Bank. Where in every market they serve, Associated Bank is committed to uplifting colleagues, customers, and communities to be stronger. So you've got Ian Stahl, Davis Winter, Joe Gravine, Jed Vandersanden, Caden Worth, Tony Eifeldano, Ryan Rodemeyer, Ethan Sillers, and then Maddox Hurtis. In terms of the order here for Wasa. Defensively for the Sixers, obviously you have Zach Richter out on the hill. Dayton Kobach doing the catching here tonight. Right field, Coy Karalunas. You've got Peyton Fleas out in center field and Braden Marshke in left. And around the infield, you've got Jonathan Trelka at third, Caden Weinfurter at short, Matthew Ostrowski at second, and Austin Gray at first base. So 1-0 here. That one hit out to right field, and the play will be made out in right. That's the F9. Wasa does come away with 3 runs here in their top half of inning number 1. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
When it comes to vehicle maintenance and repairs, Stevens Point knows you can always put your trust in Auto Select. Keeping up with vehicle maintenance is often an inconvenience, but with locations on Highway 10 East and Church Street in Plover, Auto Select will have you back on the road in no time. Enjoy their 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, along with shuttle service and loaner vehicles for your convenience. Quality, dependable, automotive care experts you can trust in Stevens Point, Plover, and in Weston. At Auto Select, you're good to go.
Does your roof need attention? Don't replace it, restore it with Seamless Commercial Roofing. Our process is guaranteed and a fraction of the cost of replacement with no downtime. When your roof needs attention, call Seamless Commercial Roofing in Marshfield.
Point. Learn more online at dollauto.com. That is Doll Automotive or dollauto.com. Tonight's game also brought to you in part from Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. For all of your tire and auto service needs, look to Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. Great deals on tires that fit your needs is a sure thing to get back on the road. That's Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. So the starting lineups, again, as we mentioned, brought to you by Associated Bank. Where in every market they serve, Associated Bank is committed to uplifting colleagues, customers, and the communities to be stronger. You've got Peyton Fleas leading it off, followed by Caden Weinfurter. Coy Karalunas hits third tonight. Jonathan Trelka hitting in the cleanup spot. Matthew Ostrowski hits fifth. Devin Krehawk hits sixth tonight. Austin Gray hitting seventh. Dayton Kobach hitting eighth tonight. And Braden Marshke hitting in the number 9 spot here. And Jack Barthel's the right-hander going for the Bulldogs here, and he goes up here 0-1 to Fleece. So Wasa scoring first here, the 3 runs, the 2 hits, a couple of errors by the Sixers. That ball hit pretty well by Fleece, going back on it, and that's going to get to the fence, and that is going to be a ground rule double for Peyton Fleece. So Peyton, we saw in last weekend, had that 2-run home run, and was certainly hitting the baseball very, very well, was Peyton. And I know we talked a little bit about it defensively too. Typically Peyton, that kind of that everyday center fielder here for the Sixers, but we did see him a little bit in shortstop over the weekend over in the Wisconsin Rapids tournament, and certainly looked like a very formidable shortstop, I have to admit. Barthel's pitch, that one in there for called strike. It's 0-1 now to Caden Weinfurter. Barthel's working out of the stretch here for Wasa. Again, as we mentioned, Wasa 6-5 in conference play. They're 3-0, 3-0 in conference. And they're going to go to third. And it looks like Fleas is going to be tagged out. So Weinfurter a bit shaken up, it looks like here. Don't know necessarily. I did, for a moment, thought maybe, perhaps that ball was fouled off of Caden. Perhaps that was sort of the what it appeared, anyways. I mean, I certainly would have to. They're going to collaborate on this one. I want to give thanks again to all of our game day sponsors here tonight. Infinity Exteriors, installing peace of mind, roofing, siding, and windows that are built to last, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. We guarantee quality that you can trust. So Weinfurter, we'll have to gather our thoughts and get back to that. That was kind of a lot to unpack there. They called Weinfurter's out here. So 2 away here for Coy Carolunas. Barthel's working out of the windup here for Wasa. Pitch to Carolunas. That one is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-2 now to Carolunas. The 0-2 to Coy. That one foul tipped, and that'll be the third out. So a hit does come across. No runs, no errors, nobody left on here. 1 inning in the books. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
Is your business, church, or organization getting a fair deal on your copier contracts? Do you even know how much you're spending? Bauernfeind Business Technologies has been in the office technology industry for 70 years. We have an award-winning service department, and customers love our fair and flexible service contracts. If you're currently a customer, thank you. If you currently work with one of our competitors, let's talk. We can tell you if you're overpaying or getting a good deal. BBT, we want to be the easiest vendor you work with. b-bt.com.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
Hi, this is Jill from Home Furniture and Design. Since 1970 and 4 generations, our family has been proudly offering quality furniture like Lazy Boy, Serta, and Amish to Central Wisconsin. We also offer free in-home design with our professionally trained designers to help you create a space that is uniquely yours, whether it's just a sofa or the entire home.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in Plover.
All right, we are back here. Second inning coming up here. The Wasa will start with 1, 2, and 3 coming up here. Ian Stahl, Davis Winter, and Joe Gravine. Stahl 0 for 1 here tonight. Grounded over to third, and the throw will be made. The 5-3 ground out to get Ian Stahl for the first out here, and that's going to bring up Davis Winter. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run back in the first. So Zach Richter out for his second inning of work here. That's a nice live look in here at Davis Winter up close here. Joe Gravine, the designated hitter in the on-deck circle here for the Bulldogs. Richter's pitched that one in there, and it's 0-1. And that one in there for a called strike. Couple of fastballs. And it's 0-2 now to Winter. The 0-2 pitch from Zach Richter is hit in the air. That should be playable for Austin Gray. He'll make the play out in foul territory. The F3 to get Davis Winter for the second out here, and that'll bring up the designated hitter here in Joe Gravine. Joe reached on an E6 back in the first, scored a run as well. Quickly 2 away for the Sixers, and right-hander Zach Richter working here. That one, an off-speed pitch in Inside part of the plate, a swing and a miss. It's 0-1 to Gravine. Richter's 0-1. And that one, swing and a miss there. So it's quickly 0-2 now to Joe Gravine. And a swing and a miss, and a 3-up, 3-down, and that's a Serve Pro Jamie Wenzel strikeout here tonight for Zach Richter. Called Jamie Wenzel at Serve Pro for the #1 choice and cleanup and restoration Serve Pro like it never happened. 3-up, 3-down, no runs, no hits, no errors. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
Are you tired of being a boring old tree, bird, or mythical war hero? Find the right job for you at Express Employment. Stop today and discuss positions that fit your abilities and qualifications, leading you to the perfect job. Always local, always strategically selected to match your skill set with local employers. There's a perfect job out there. Let Express Employment professionals help you find it. In Wausau, Stevens Point, Medford, and Marshfield. Find jobs and apply online at expresspros.com.
Hi, I'm Josh Barks, owner of Infinity Exteriors. 9 out of 10 brand new roofs can't pass a simple manufacturer warranty inspection, meaning 9 out of 10 brand new roofs have no warranty. Infinity operates on principles instilled in my Marine Corps service: honor, courage, and commitment. Infinity is meticulous craftsmanship, unbeatable quality, and always at the best price. Infinity buys more, pays less, passing those savings directly to you. We're booking new roofs, siding, and windows. Call today.
Up 4, 5, and 6 here with Jonathan Trelka, Matthew Ostrowski, and Devin Krehak. Barthel's on the hill, one pitch. That ball hit over to third, gonna still, and they will say the tag is applied, so a good defensive effort there by Tony Eifeldano to stay with that one. So Trelka retired on the 5-3 ground out for the first out here. That'll bring up the second baseman here tonight, and Matthew Ostrowski. Barthel's working from the windup, the pitch to Ostrowski. That one catches the corner, and it's 0-1. Devin Krehak awaiting in the on-deck area here for the Sixers. Stevens Point with a single base hit here thus far. That one is in there, and it's 0-2 now to Ostrowski. 3 hits between the two teams. Of course, the difference being the 3 runs for Wasa. That one, a swing and a miss, and Ostrowski down on strikes for the second out here. And that'll bring up the designated hitter here in number 7, the 6 hitter, and Devin Krehak. Couple of quick outs here. The one pitch ground out to Trelka, and then the strikeout here to Ostrowski. That one is going to miss outside, and it's 1-0. And the breaking ball in there, and it's 1-1. Of course, Stevens Point will play host to the Ed Cardock Firecracker Classic, always a 4th of July tradition out here at Buchholz Park this weekend. And that one off speed by Barthels, and it's quickly 1-2 now to Krehak. And that one's going to miss inside, and it's going to go even at 2-2. So Stevens Point, they'll play Friday on the 4th at 3 o'clock, and then they'll have an 8 o'clock game Friday. And that one's going to miss outside. And then Saturday, they'll be back in action at 3 o'clock as well on Saturday, and then 8 o'clock on Saturday evening. And then certainly, dependent upon how everything goes, will dictate the times in terms of Sunday play. That one's going to miss, and Krehak induces a 2-out base on ball here. And that'll bring up the first baseman here tonight in Austin Gray. Our early score here, bottom half of inning number 2. Barthels catches the outside part of the plate here, and it's 0-1. Jack working out of the stretch, the pitch. That one's going to miss, and it's going to go out at 1-1. And that one's going to get out of play and foul, and it's going to push the count now here to 1-2 to Austin Gray. Barthels with the check back on Devin Krehak there. One, two. Runner on the move. And that one in there for a called strike. And Gray down on strikes for the third and final out here. So the Sixers come up with no runs, no hits, a runner left. And we'll move to the bottom half of inning number 2. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoffaver Real Estate Group.
Hello, Wisconsin. Phelps Dairy Store in Stevens Point is your spot for family fun. Wisconsin style at the farm. Come have an ice cream or some of their daily made fresh cheese curds while observing the robotic barn milking the cows. Ask for a tour of the farm or let the kids see the cows up close. Various Wisconsin-made dairy and beef products, seasonal decor, and outdoor activities are just the start of the family fun that awaits you at the Phelps Dairy Store, just a half mile from Walmart in Stevens Point. Phelps Dairy Store, food, family, and fun.
And the most important of those things is to have the ability to do things and treat patients in such a way that you're that you're able to do things in such a way that you're controlling the decisions that are made, and you have that ability to change things when you feel like they're not the best things for you or for your patients, and that's really important.
All right, we are back. Want to give thanks to all of our game day sponsors here tonight. Cheese Pleasers in Bancroft is a local hidden gem filled with all the finest cheeses, snack sticks, cheese curds, and cheese trays. For Wisconsin's finest cheese, stop at Cheese Pleasers right off I-39 in Bancroft. So top of 3 here, Zach Richter out for his third inning of work. And Wasa sending up 4, 5, and 6 here with Jed Vander Sanden, Caden Worth, and Tony Eifeldano. It's 0-1 now to Vander Sanden. That one's going to miss, and it's going to go to 1-1 now to Jed. Jed had the sacrifice, the F8 RBI, the sac fly RBI back in the first. That one's going to get fouled back, and it's going to go 1-2 now to Vander Sanden. Caden Worth, the on-deck hitter here for the Bulldogs. We are already in the top half of inning number 3. Wausau with the early 3-0 lead here. Richter's 1-2. That one's going to miss high, and it's going to go even at 2-2 now to Vander Sanden. Richter's 2-2. That one is in there for a called strike. And that is another Sir Pro Jamie Wenzel strikeout here tonight for Zach Richter, his second this evening. One away, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Caden Worth. Caden had that RBI double and run scored back in the first. So Caden 1 for 1 here tonight. And that one off speed is going to get fouled back by Worth, and it's 0-1. So a very nice night here for some American Legion baseball here at the old ballpark, the Buchholz here at the Leo Cub Manchesky Field. 325 down the lines here, the Ivy out on the left. 375 to straightaway center here. Very, very little wind. Lights on here out at Buchholz Park. This 8 o'clock hour. That ball lifted into the air. And playable, and the play will be made out in left field. That's Worth to fly out there to left. The second out here, that was Braden Marschke that makes the play out there. 2 away now for the third baseman, and Tony Eifeldano 1 for 1 here tonight. Singled and scored a run back in the first. that one misses, and it's 1-0 now to Eifeldano. The 1-0 here to Tony. That one is going to miss downstairs, and it's 2-0. And that one in there for a called strike. So Richter keeping with that fastball. It's 2-1 now to Eifeldano. The 2-1 offering from Richter. That one hit out to Karalunas in right. He'll drift over, and he's not going to be able to make the play. Good effort, but that ball is going to the 2-out. Eifeldano will reach on that. So Eifeldano reaches on the E9 here. 2 away, and that'll bring up Ryan Rodermeyer. Walked in his first plate appearance back in inning number 1. Richter working from the stretch. The pitch, that one in there, it's 0-1. So Karalunas certainly pretty long distance to try to get to that, and he did get to it, but just out of... Just unable to corral that one in. It's 1-1 now to Rodemeyer. Ethan Sillers on deck here for the Bulldogs. Runner on the move. Kobach's throw down to second is going to be in time. So Kobach is going to get Eifeldano on that one for the 3rd out here. So we're through 3.5 here. 2.5, I should say. We will move to bottom half of inning number 3 here. You are watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
Rich, creamy, and fun. Point Craft Soda. Caffeine-free, made with 100% real sugar. From Stevens Point Brewery.
Selling your car to Doll Auto is quick and easy. Bring your title and keys, and you'll have a check in as little as 30 minutes. Still owe money on your vehicle? No problem. We'll take care of it. Doll Auto. Simple.
All right, we are back. I want to give thanks to all of our game day sponsors tonight here. Of course, there's our scoreboard showing Wasa out front here, 3-0 here, going into the bottom half of inning number 3. Whitetail Properties Real Estate is your premier hunting land, farmland, and recreational land broker. If you're looking to buy or sell, Central Wisconsin agents are Brian and Evan Roosh at whitetailproperties.com. That is whitetailproperties.com. So 8-9-1 here for the Sixers. Dayton Kobach followed by Braden Marschke, and then back to the top of the order here with Peyton Fleas coming up. Jack Barthel's out for his 3rd inning of work here, and that one is in there, and it's 0-1 to Kobach. Jack working out of the windup here. You get that live look in. That one's going to get fouled back and out of play here into the bleacher area, and it's quickly 0-2 now to Kobach. Of course, Buchholz Park here, Leo Cub Manchesky Field will be the host site for the Legion State. That ball grounded to third, the 5-3 ground out for out number 1 to get Kobach. That was Eifeldano there to make the play, and it's Braden Marschke now, his first plate appearance here tonight for the Sixers. And then it's back to the top of the order for Stevens Point. That one's going to miss high and out, and it's 1-0 now to Marschke. Barthel's 1-0. That one hit on the ground over to first, and he'll take it himself here, and that's going to be the 2nd out. That's Jed Vandersanden, the 2 away now, and back to the top of the order for Peyton Fleas, who doubled back in the 1st. So Peyton 1 for 1 here tonight. that one catches a corner, and it's 0-1 down to Peyton. Peyton with a lone hit here thus far for the Sixers. That ball lifted out into shallow right field coming over, and play will be made out of right field. So Flea's retired on the F9 here for the third and final out. We're through 3 innings here. Our score remains 3-0. Wasa out front. 4th inning coming up. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
For the best food in town, look no further than Rock and Roll Cafe on Stanley Street in Stevens Point. This locally owned, 50s-themed diner loves to support their community while providing a full menu of breakfast and lunch options, along with all-day breakfasts and Friday fish fry. Enjoy a fun, family atmosphere with delicious meals made from scratch, including skillets and tasty burgers. Dine in or take out is welcome, Mondays through Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Treat yourself to a mouth-watering experience at the Rock and Roll Cafe on Stanley Street in Stevens.
At Ridgetop, we are your trusted, local, affordable exterior renovations expert. Isn't that right, Bo?
Exactly, especially when we are working on someone's biggest investment.
Can you give us an example, Bo?
Well, there was this house. We replaced the roofing, siding, and windows. Then, they left a 5-star review.
One of our thousands of 5-star reviews?
Exactly.
For your free, no obligation estimate, call us today or go to ridgetopexteriors.com.
All right, live look in here at our fan section here out at Buchholz Park. Give thanks to all of our game day sponsors, Little Scholars Childcare. Little Scholars and Little Scholars Beginnings are 2 beautiful childcare and preschools in Stevens Point offering early child learning for infants through 4K. You'll find great facilities and a comfortable environment to help your child grow. Visit littlescholars.com. So that one flies out to Marschke and left. So Rodemeyer, the F7 here for the first out here, top half of inning number 4. And that'll bring up the left fielder here in Ethan Sillers. He reached on the E6 back in the first. Richter out for his 2nd inning of work here, or 4th inning of work, I should say. Looking for his 2nd out here in this 4th. Pitch on the way, that one catches, and it's going to be 1-1 to Sillers. Fastball in there, and it's 1-2 now. So Richter certainly has gotten himself pretty dialed in here really after that first. And, of course, a couple errors in that half inning don't necessarily help. Gray calls for it, and he's not going to be able to make the play in foul territory. So it remains 1-2 now to Sillers. I give thanks to Nicolay Bank. Nicolay Bank offers personal banking at its best. Locations in Stevens Point, Wasa, Colby, Medford, Edgar, and Merrill. Or learn more, NicolayBank.com. That is NicolayBank.com. It's 1-2 now to Sillers. Richter's 1-2 offering. That one is going to get hit out of play, and Fowler remains 1-2. That ball hit right to Richter, and Richter able to snag that one, and a nice snag there for the 2nd out for Zach Richter. And that'll bring up the 2nd baseman here in Maddox Hurtitz. Maddox is 0 for 1 here tonight. He flew out to right back in the 1st. That one in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So those 3 runs all coming in the 1st inning here for Wasa on the 2 hits and a couple errors in that half inning. Been the difference here in this one thus far. That's a swing and a miss. Hurtis may have gotten a piece of that. It's 0-2. Richter misses in and high, and it's 1-2. Game moving along. This is a 7:30 start. We are already in the top half of inning number 4. Both pitchers, and that's a swing and a miss and a strikeout. And another Serb-Pro, Jamie Wenzel, strikeout for Zach Richter here tonight, his third of the evening. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on here. We'll move to the bottom half of inning number 4. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
Mega Custom Apparel, your local source for quality, custom decorated clothing and products. Discover a wide range of products from corporate casual wear to team uniforms, promotional items, sporting goods, and awards. Don't settle for less. With our in-house production, we will make your name or event stand out with custom sports jerseys, branded cooler bags, and personalized can coolers. Celebrate team success with custom awards and promotional items. At Meda Custom Apparel, we put your brand first. Explore your options today at medacustom.com.
I got referred to the orthodontist and I was really nervous, but in my 2-year process, the staff was very welcoming and very kind to me. My brother also had treatment here and he was very happy with the smile. I'd recommend Ruth Orthodontics to all my friends and family that want a beautiful smile just like us.
When I come in for my appointment, the wait is really short. All of the workers are very kind and sweet. They try to make sure that everything in my mouth is just right after my checkup.
And go for Royce Lown. So Lown hitting in the 2 spot here. That's Royce Lown with a base hit for Weinfurter, who may have exited with injury, I believe. So the second hit collected here for the Sixers, and Lown aboard, and Coy Karolounis. That one is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So Coy is 0 for 1 tonight. There's a live look over at our first base camera there. Royce Lown on the base paths for the Sixers. Just the second hit here tonight, surrendered by Jack Barthels. Both pitchers surrendering just the 2 hits. And that's a swing and a miss, breaking ball, and it's going to push the count now to 0-2. So there's a live look in there at Jack, working out of the stretch here, 0-2, and that one's going to miss outside, and it's 1-2. Jonathan Trelka awaiting on deck for Stevens Point. Of course, we kind of talked about Coy and his pencil-themed bat there. That one fouled back. It remains 1-2. Saw a number of those throughout the course of the not only the Legion season, but certainly the high school season as well. It's 1-2 remains here to Karolounis, with Royce Lown down at first. A pretty nice lead there. That ball hit on the ground. That is going to be a tough play, and unable to get to it, and Karolounis with a base hit. So now Stevens Point with a couple of base runners here. And that'll bring up the third baseman here, and Jonathan Trelka. Jonathan is 0 for 1 here tonight. Grounded to third back in the second. Nobody out here, so Stevens Point with the hit advantage, but looking to try to get on that scoreboard here. Bottom half, inning number 4. Bunt being shown by Trelka. That is going to get, and that'll be bunted foul, and Trelka will be out on the F2 there. First out here, and that'll bring up the second baseman here tonight, and Matthew Ostrowski 0 for 1 tonight. Struck out back in the second. Of course, Matthew, that ball is going to be hit in the air and tracked down there by Vander Sanden here, so 2 away now, and that's the F3 to get Ostrowski for the second out. And then I'll bring up Devin Krehak, who has walked in his first plate appearance back in inning number 2 here. Barthel's working from the stretch. And that one, breaking ball, catches a corner now, and it's 0-1. That's going to catch the corner there, and it's 0-2 now. Quickly 0-2 to Krehak, and Barthol's doing a nice job, certainly, of mixing those pitches here and having. He comes inside with the 0-2 fastball, and it's 1-2 now to Devin. The 1-2 here to Krehak. That one a swing and a miss. Gets away. He'll complete the throw down to first, and the out here to get Krehak for the third out. And the Sixers get a couple of hits. No runs, a couple left on here. We are through 4 innings here in the books. Wasa leads it here 3-0. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff-Favor Real Estate Group.
The Auto Service Specialist at Sherrill Tire and Auto Service can change your oil, fix your brakes, align your vehicle, make that check engine light go away, and more. Great service from great people at Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. Find your location at Sherrill.
Is it time to replace your old gutters? Call Schwartz Seamless Gutters and protect your home with new seamless technology. No seams, no leaks. With free estimates in 2 days or less and workmanship guaranteed, our service is as seamless as our gutters.
All right, live look in there. That's the right-hander here, and Zach Richter out for his 5th inning of work here tonight. He'll go through the top of the Wasa Bulldogs order here, and Ian Stahl, Davis Winter, followed by Joe Gervine. So 1, 2, and 3 coming up here for Wasa. I want to give thanks to Home Furniture. Fill your home with the best from Home Furniture. Sofas, sectionals, beds, recliners, lighting, tables, rugs, and so much more. Home Furniture with locations on Grand Avenue in Wisconsin Rapids and on Post Road in Plover. That is Home Furniture. So we are in the top half of inning number 5. Ian Stahl 0 for 2 here tonight. That one's going to miss inside, and it's 1-0. Grounded to third back in the second, and then grounded out to short back over in the first. The 1-0 pitch. That one's going to miss down low, and it's 2-0 now to Stahl. Fastball by Richter, and it's 2-1. The 2-1 offering to Stahl. That one's going to miss inside. Hitters count 3-1 now coming up to Stahl. The 5 base hits on the board between the two teams. That ball is going to get fouled off of Stahl. It'll go full now. So Stevens Point, as we mentioned here, with the 1-hit advantage here, the 3 hits here on the no runs. Stevens Point, however, with those 3 errors, which have thus far proved to be somewhat costly, though still a lot of baseball yet in front of us here. I want to give thanks to so many of our game day sponsors, one of them being Ridgetop Exteriors. Just like these players bring their best to the field, Ridgetop Exteriors brings top-tier performance to your home. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors, Ridgetop Exteriors has the winning strategy to protect your home. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com. So the count here remains full here. I think Stahl maybe shaken up just a bit. We'll keep it right here, certainly. And again, as we mentioned here, top half of inning number 5, really the difference in this one has been those 3 errors, I'll say. You certainly never like to pinpoint any one particular area, but certainly that has been the difference here thus far. But both pitchers have pitched very, very efficiently, in my opinion, here. And, Zach Richter here with 3 strikeouts tonight, 3 Serb Pro Jamie Wenzel strikeouts on the night, and Jack Barthol's, for that matter, with 5 strikeouts tonight. Certainly a lot of ball left here. So that's going to bring up here, looks like number 21 here, and I believe that is going to be Carson Bauman here to finish the at-bat here for Ian Stahl. That one's going to be hit on the ground to second. Going to be a fairly tough play. He'll flip it, Ostrowski will, to Gray for the first out. And Bauman, 4-3 ground out for out number 1. So that'll bring up number 4 here in the left-handed hitting Davis Winter. Davis 0 for 1 tonight, walked and scored a run. He was hit by a pitch back in the first, and then he flew out to Austin Gray back in the second. And he looks at ball 1, and it's 1-0 now to Winter. Fastball just out front of that is Winter. It's 1-1. Top half of inning number 5 here. That ball fouled back, and that add to the collection here in the fencing area here at Buchholz Park. It'll be a good haul for someone once that point is done. Probably about a dozen or so baseballs up there, roughly. So I've not taken the time to fully count them. Gray calls for that in foul territory, and he'll make the play. So Austin Gray to retire Davis Winter for the second out here, 2 away, and that'll bring up the designated hitter tonight in Joe Gravine. Joe is 0 for 2 tonight. Reached on an E6 back in the first and scored a run in that same inning. And then Joe struck out back in the second. So quickly a couple outs here for Zach Richter. And again, I know I've said it maybe a couple times now, but you subtract that first inning, and this has been what I would call kind of a tale of 2 very solid pitchers going head-to-head here. It's 1-0 to Gravine. Pitch on the way. That one hit pretty well out to Marschke and left. Marschke going back on it, and that's going to be off the ivy out in left field there, and that's going to be a double for Joe Gravine. Just the third hit surrendered here tonight, a 2-out double by Gravine. Catches the bottom half of the left field fence in there with the ivy here, 2 away, and that'll bring up the first baseman here in Jed Vandersanden. Had the sac fly, RBI out to center back in the first, and then struck out looking back in the third here. So Wasa now with a runner in scoring position, 2 away, and that one is in there for a called strike to Vandersanden. It's 0-1. Richter working from the stretch here to Jed. Runner on the go, and Gravine's going to get to third on that one. Count will go to 1-1 now to Vandersanden. Richter's 1-1 offering. That one will miss, and it's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, that one belted out of play and going to get foul. It's going to go even at 2-2 now. Gravine down there at third. There's a live look in here at Vandersanden here. The 2-2 offering, that one hit on the ground is short, playable. And the play will be made, so the 6-3 ground out to get Vandersanden for the third and final out here. Wasa does get a hit. They leave a runner stranded. We move to the bottom half of inning number 5 here. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Fair Real Estate Group.
Hi, I'm Shad from Next Step Prosthetics. 5 years ago, we opened our practice to provide life-changing prosthetics that are both comfortable and functional.
I would definitely recommend Shai.
Shai is very compassionate, caring.
We've grown to serve patients throughout Wisconsin. We want to thank them, their families, and providers who have trusted us on their journey.
Go to Next Step, because it's going to change your life.
Why wait another day? Call to set up a free, no-obligation evaluation. Let us take the next step together towards a better life.
In every department at Dull Auto, you'll find people who've been in the industry for decades.
Sales staff with a deep knowledge, not just of cars, but how to build relationships. A service team who always double checks each other's work. Dozens of people you may never meet who've been working for years to make buying and servicing a car feel fast and easy. In over 100 years at Dahl Auto, we've learned to value experience. After working
with Austin Gray, Dayton Kobach, and Braden Marshke. A live look in there at Jack Barthel's out for his 5th inning of work. And Gray fouls that one back, and it's 0-1. Gray 0 for 1 here tonight. Breaking ball, that one's going to get fouled and out of play, and it's going to quickly go to 0-2 now to Gray. And the 0-2 here from Barthels. And that one hit out to shallow right field, coming in to make the play, and Gray will be retired on the F9 for the first out. Play there made by Caden Worth out in right field. So one away now for the catcher here in Dayton Kobach. Dayton is 0 for 1 here tonight. There's a nice live look in. That's Ethan Sillers out in the left field. And that one's going to get fouled and out of play, and it's 0-1 now to Kobach. As mentioned, Dayton 0 for 1 here tonight, grounded to third, back in the third. Game has moved along pretty rapidly just by way of both pitchers pitching very, very efficiently. Breaking ball hit on the ground is short. And the play will be made. The 6-3 ground out for the second out there. That's Davis Winter there to gobble that one up and get it over to Vander Sanden for the second out, and that'll bring up Braden Marshke. Braden grounded into the unassisted ground out to Vander Sanden back at first, back in the third. And Barthels misses outside. It's 1-0. So Stevens Point batting in their bottom half of the fifth here. That one's going to get fouled and out of play, and it's 1-1 now to Marshke. And Braden 0 for 1 here tonight. The 1-1 offering, that's hit on the ground over to second. And they're going to get Marshke by an eyelash, a 4-3 ground out. So 3 up, 3 down here. So no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on here. 5 innings are in the books. Wasa still out front here, 3-0. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
Shuda Funeral Home in Stevens Point and Plover is your local, family-owned and operated funeral home, providing families with compassionate, individualized, and affordable services when you need it most. The loss of a loved one is a difficult fact of life that Shuda Funeral Home will ensure you won't have to face alone. Shuda Funeral Home will guide you through the process from in-person visitations to creating obituaries and tributes. Pre-planning can also be a great way to ease these topics for your family. Learn more at shudafuneral.com or bring your questions and stop in.
After a couple years of this, it's time for more money, more opportunity. That's where Midstate Technical College comes in. Got a passion for helping people? Maybe you like cars. Are you into science? Are you good with computers? No matter your path, we've got cutting-edge classes with field-trained professionals and better tuition options. Stop getting by and level up today.
All right, we are back. 6th inning here coming up. That's Zach Richter out for his 6th inning of work. I want to give thanks to Stevens Point Orthopedics. They are proud to provide complimentary sports physicals to Central Wisconsin athletes this summer. Call 715-344-0701 to schedule your appointment. That's 715-344-0701. 0-1, and that's Stevens Point Orthopedics. So 5, 6, and 7 here for Wasa. That's Caden Worth, Tony Eiffeldano, and Ryan Rodemeyer. It's 2-0 now to Worth. Caden had the RBI double back in the first with a run scored. He flew out to left field. And that ball hit down the line, and that's going to be a fair ball. And Caden Worth, his second hit here tonight and his second double here for Worth. So a 2-for-3 night here for Caden Worth. So a leadoff double here in the top half of inning number 6 here. And that'll bring up the third baseman here in Tony Eiffeldano. Tony is 1 for 2 tonight. Singled back in the first. Reached on an E9 back in inning number 3. Richter working here. That one's going to miss high, and it's 1-0 to Eiffeldano. And that ball hit out to Marschke, and he'll keep it in front of him, doing a nice job there to lay out for. That'll be a hit for Eiffeldano, so his second hit here tonight. So Worth will get over to third. You've got runners at the corner, nobody out here, and the catcher and Ryan Rodemeyer coming up. Ryan 0 for 1 tonight. Flew out to left, and then he walked back in the first. Richter works from the stretch. The pitch, that one is going to miss high, and it's 1-0 to Rodemeyer. So Eiffeldano with a nice lead at first there. That one is going to miss just outside, and it's 2-0 now to Eiffeldano. Richter's pitch, that one hit out into the gap here. That's going to be at least a run here. And another run coming across, and a double there, and a 2 RBI double for Ryan Rodemeyer. So Worth and Eiffeldano score on that. And that'll bring up Ethan Sillers. Still nobody out here. Ethan is 0 for 2 tonight. He lined a Richter back in the fourth. Reached on the E6 back in the first. And you got Rodemeyer down at second. Still nobody out here. Top half of inning number 6 here. That one misses high to Sillers, and it's 1-0. And that ball hit over to short. Lowndes going to have a long play and unable to make the play, and that's going to be an infield single. That ball, that's probably how it would be scored, I would have to think. It's going to be a pretty tough play there for Lown with Sillers running there. So Rodemeyer gets to third on that one. And you've got Maddox Hurtis now, who is 0 for 2. Runners at the corner. Still nobody out here. It's 0-1 to Maddox. Richter's fastball, that's going to miss high, and it's go to 1-1. Runner, that one in there for a called strike. That'll push the count now to 1-2 to Hurtis. We'll be back to the top of the order here for Wasa. Victor, that pitch is fouled back, and it remains 1-2 now to Hurtis. I give thanks to the Rock and Roll Cafe. Find a great variety of breakfast options at the Rock and Roll Cafe. Breakfast, lunch, Friday fish fry, and service with a smile. Open daily for breakfast and lunch. And only on Stanley Street and Stevens Point. So Sillers will get second on that one. It's going to go to 2-2 now to Hurtis. So Wasa with another couple runners in scoring position here. The 2-2 to Maddox. And that's going to get down for a base hit. And there's going to be a throw at plate, but 2 runs are going to score on that, and a 2 RBI single for Maddox Hurtis, who's going to get down to second on that one. So Wasa now with a couple more tacked on here and 4 runs here. We'll get a mound visit here from head coach Opiola. We'll take a brief commercial pause. We'll bring it right back. You're watching American Legion Baseball and Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hot Favor Real Estate Group.
Hey, you're tuned in to Better Halves.
Skip, I love my hometown, and I want a health plan that feels the same way. So, what are your favorite local date spots?
Oh, yeah, I know like all the date spots in Eau Claire.
Jane, I'm Steve from security. I've lived here in Wisconsin my whole life, and that means I understand your health coverage needs better.
By the way, Doug, it's Eau Claire. I have a dozen Eclairs in my dress.
Does your roof need attention? Don't replace it, restore it with Seamless Commercial Roofing. Our process is guaranteed and a fraction of the cost of replacement with no downtime. When your roof needs attention, call Seamless Commercial Roofing in Marshfield.
All right, new pitcher out here. That is the right-hander Jonathan Trelka here to work in this top half of inning number 6 in relief of Zach Richter. So there'll be so Wasa has tacked on 4 runs here in their half of this 6th inning of play here. 7-0 our score here, and it's back to the top of the order here for the Bulldogs. Want to give thanks to all of our game day sponsors here tonight. Fleet Farm, no matter what your everyday life looks like, Fleet Farm has you covered at the best prices guaranteed. Auto, pet, bird, farm, and snacks. Fleet Farm has everything you need at all the lowest prices. That is Fleet Farm. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Meta Custom Apparel. Meta Custom Apparel specializes in providing quality decorated apparel, including from corporate casual, team uniforms, and promotional items to sporting goods and awards. Find just what you need to help you keep you looking great. Learn more at metacustom.com. So Trelka gets the ball here in the 6th. You've got Hurtis down at second with that 2 RBI single that brought in Rodemeyer and Sillers. Back to the top of the order in Carson Bauman here. And that one misses high, and it's 1-0 to Bauman. Bauman hitting here in the 1 spot in place of Ian Stahl, who started this game, but I believe was shaken up a little bit, and he exited. That one's going to get past, and there'll be a throw down to third, but it's not going to be in time, and Hurtis will be down at third now. And it's going to go to 2-0 to Bauman. Carson, his second plate appearance here. That one is going to miss now. So it's 3-0 to Bauman. And that one in there from Trelka. So the count goes 3-1 to Bauman. And that ball lifted out of play goes foul. So 3-2 now to Bauman. Bauman 0 for 1 tonight, grounded to second back in the 5th. And that one's going to get down for a base hit for Bauman. And that'll be an RBI single for Carson. And that's going to bring up the shortstop here in Davis Winter. Davis 0 for 2 here tonight. Couple flyouts to first. And then he walked, scored a run back in the first. Bauman, that RBI single down at first. That fastball catches the corner, and it's 0-1 now to Winter. Trelka keeping a rather close, watchful eye on Bauman there at first. That one's going to get fouled back, and it's quickly 0-2 now to Winter. So Wasa with the 8 hits here tonight, the 8 runs. There's a live look in here at Jonathan Trelka getting the signs from his battery mate there, and Dayton Kobach. That one's going to miss outside. And it's 1-2 now to Winter. So several different camera angles that we're here to bring to you here on Zaleski Sports. Several camera angles, in fact. All very much part of the action. That one lined foul. And that's going to keep things here at 1-2 to Winter. There's a live look in there at Davis. So Trelka works from the stretch, the pitch. That one's going to work inside, and it's 2-2 now. The 2-2 pitch to Davis Winter. And that one is going to get fouled back, and count will remain even 2-2. I want to give thanks tonight to Shuda Funeral Home. Shuda Funeral Services in Stevens Point and Plover is here to help you with all of your funeral needs with 2 convenient locations and a personal local touch. Let their experienced staff serve your family. Learn more at shudafuneral.com. That is shudafuneral.com. So it's 2-2 here to Winter. Trelka working from the stretch. The 2-2 offering to Winter. That one hit on the ground. Gray, he'll throw down to second, and they'll get the lead runner there, so the fielder's choice. So they get Bauman there for the first out. On the fielder's choice there by Gray to get that lead runner. Nice job there to not only field it, but certainly have the wherewithal to get that lead runner. One away now, and Joe Gravine coming up. Joe is 1 for 3 tonight. Doubled back in inning number 5. Struck out in the second and then reached on an E6 and scored a run back in inning number 1. Winter down at first, 1 away. Trelka from the stretch. Breaking ball misses inside, and it is 1-0 now to Gravine. And that one's going to be hit out to Marschke, who will make the play. So nice play there by Marschke. The lined out to Marschke there for the second out. So 2 away now here, and Jed Vander Sanden at a sac fly RBI back in the first. Struck out looking in the third and then grounded to short back in the 5th. So his 4th trip here for the Bulldogs. And that ball hit out to right field. That's going to get down. That's going to reach the gap here, and that's going to be extra bases for Vander Sanden. And that'll be an RBI double, in fact, for Jed. Winter comes around from first to score on that. And that's back to Caden Worth here. Caden doubled and scored a run in his last at-bat here. That one's fouled back, and it's 0-1. So Vander Sanden with a 2-out double. The RBI double here to make it 9-0 our score here. Trelka working from the stretch, the pitch. That one fouled back, and it's 0-2 now to Worth. Trelka, 0-2 pitch here to Worth. That one misses inside, and it's 1-2 now to Caden. The 1-2. That's high, and it's 2-2. So Trelka set from the stretch, the 2-2 offering to Worth. That one lined foul, gets the cages out there in left field area. Remains even at 2-2 now to Worth. Top half of inning number 6 here. The 2-2 pitch. That one hit over to Gray at first. He will take it himself, and he will get Worth there, but that will be the end of 5.5 here. We'll move to the bottom half of inning number 6. Wasa comes away with 6 runs on that. Bottom 6 coming up. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
Is your business, church, or organization getting a fair deal on your copier contracts? Do you even know how much you're spending? Bauer & Fine Business Technologies has been in the office technology industry for 70 years. We have an award-winning service department, and customers love our fair and flexible service contracts. If you're currently a customer, thank you. If you currently work with one of our competitors, let's talk. We can tell you if you're overpaying or getting a good deal. BBT, we want to be the easiest vendor you work with.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
Hi, this is Jill from Home Furniture and Design. Since 1970 and 4 generations, our family has been proudly offering quality furniture like Lazy Boy, Serta, and Amish to Central Wisconsin. We also offer free in-home design with our professionally trained designers to help you create a space that is uniquely yours, whether it's just a sofa or the entire home.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in
All right, back out here, bottom half of inning number 6, back to the top of the order here with Peyton Flees. Peyton 1 for 2 here tonight. Led the game off with a double back in the first, bottom half of the first, and then flew out to right back in the third. It's 2-0 now to Flees. Jack Barthels is back out for his 6th inning of work here. He has surrendered the 3 hits here thus far. No runs scored here for the Sixers here. And Jack certainly has pitched very efficiently, although that'll be a base on ball. So Flees, just the second walk here surrendered by Barthels. That'll bring up Royce Lown. He singled back in the 4th, so 1 for 1 here tonight for Royce. Barthels checking back over on Flees there at first. Over to Vander Sanden there. Another check back to keep Keep an eye on Fleece there. The pitch here to Lown, and that one is going to miss, and it's 1-0 now to Royce. Stevens Point and Fleas on the move, and a throw down is not going to be in time. Fleas is going to get second base on that, the stolen base for Peyton. Had a really nice jump, did Peyton, out there to get himself into scoring position now here for the Sixers. Barthel's working from the stretch here for Wasa. That one a swing and a miss, and it's 2-1 now to Royce. The 2-1 offering, that one fouled back, so it's 2-2 now to Royce. Coy Karalunas, the on-deck hitter here for the Sixers. Coy 1 for 2 here tonight. So the 2-2 pitch here to Royce, that one is going to miss outside. Count goes to full. The 3-2 offering. That one fouled back, and it remains full count here now to Royce. Today's game brought to you in part by Blinds and Designs by Kelly, Premier Auto Body, Dahl Automotive, Stevens Point Brewery, Lee Ayers Jewelers, Point Heating and Cooling, and Portesi Pizza. So Lown staying alive here. 3-2 to Royce. And that one's going to miss inside, so Lown on base for his second time here tonight. And that'll bring up the right fielder in Coy Karalunas here. Coy 1 for 2 tonight. He singled back in the fourth. Flees the delayed steal. The throw down is not going to be in time, and Fleece now down to third on that one. So a couple of stolen bases here in this half inning for Peyton. Certainly trying to claw back into this one. That one in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1 now to Karalunas. 1-1. 1-1 here to Coy. Jack checking back on Lown over at first there. That one misses down. 2-1 now to Karalunas. That one's fouled and out of play. It's going to go even at 2-2 now to Coy. Jonathan Trelka on deck here for Stevens Point. There's a live look in there at Coy Karalunas. And they're going to get... So they're going to say that Lown is going to be picked off there. That's Vander Sanden over there applying the tag, as you can see here in our live close-up footage there. The swing and a miss from Karalunas. He is down on strikes for the second out now. And that's the sixth strikeout here tonight for Jack Barthels. 2 away now, and Jonathan Trelka. Jonathan 0 for 2 tonight, grounded to third back in the second. And then he popped out to the catcher back in the fourth. That one hit one pitch out to right field, the F9 for the third and final out here. So 6 innings are in the books. We'll move to the top half of inning number 7 here. Score remains 9-0. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Faber Real Estate Group.
Are you tired of being a boring old tree, bird, or mythical war hero? Find the right job for you at Express Employment. Stop today and discuss positions that fit your abilities and qualifications, leading you to the perfect job. Always local, always strategically selected to match your skill set with local employers. There's a perfect job out there. Let Express Employment professionals help you find it. In Wausau, Stevens Point, Medford, and Marshfield. Find jobs and apply online at
Hi, I'm Josh Marks, owner of Infinity Exteriors. 9 out of 10 brand new roofs can't pass a simple manufacturer warranty inspection, meaning 9 out of 10 brand new roofs have no warranty. Infinity operates on principles instilled in my Marine Corps service: honor, courage, and commitment. Infinity is meticulous craftsmanship, unbeatable quality, and always at the best price. Infinity buys more, pays less, passing those savings directly to you. We're booking new roofs, siding, and windows. Call today.
All right, we are back here. 7th inning coming up here. There's Jonathan Trelka out here to work his 3rd inning in relief here tonight for Stevens Point. And Wasa will have, and they may have some pinch hitters, we will see, but right now scheduled 6, 7, and 8 here for the Bulldogs here. And that is Tony Eifeldano. Tony 2 for 3 tonight. Couple of singles for Tony. He scored a run back in the 6th. Was able to reach base on the E9 back in inning number 3. So Trelka works from the windup to pitch. That one's fouled back, and it's 0-1 now to Eifeldano. The 0-1 to Eifeldano. That one's going to miss, and it's now 1-1 to Tony. And that one just missed, and it's going to go now to 2-1 to Eifeldano. That one misses high, and it's 3-1 coming up to Eifeldano. The 3-1. And that's going to miss. So Eifeldano will reach base tonight for his 4th time. Base on ball here from Trelka. And that'll bring up Ryan Rodemeyer. Ryan 1 for 2 tonight. 2 RBI double back in the 6th with a run scored. The 1-0 to Rodemeyer. And checking back on Eifeldano there at first. Austin Gray over there. The 1-0. That one's going to miss inside, and it's going to go 2-0 now to Rodemeyer. There's a live look in there at Jonathan there. The 2-0 pitch, that one will miss, and it's going to go now to 3-0 to Rodemeyer. The 3-0 from Trelka, fastball in there, and it's 3-1. The 3-1 pitch from Trelka, and that's going to be a base on ball. So the second walk here given up from Trelka here in this top half of inning number 7. That'll bring up Ethan Sillers. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Scored a run and stole a base in the 6th. And Trelka going with a heat there, and it's 0-1 to Ethan. He lined to Zach Richter back in the 4th. And then he reached on an E6 back in inning number 1 here. That ball in there for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 now to Sillers. Trelka's 0-2 pitch. And that's a swing and a miss, and the first out here, and that's the first Serb Pro Jamie Wenzel strikeout here tonight for Jonathan Trelka. You can call Jamie Wenzel at Serb Pro for the number 1 choice. And cleanup and restoration, 1 away now, and Maddox Hurtis coming up. Maddox a 2 RBI single and a run scored back in the 6th. 1 for 3 here tonight for Maddox. That one's going to miss, and it's 2-0 now to Hurtis. That one lifted into the air, playable. Trelka will make the play there, and the F1 to retire Hurtis for the second out. Back to the top of the order now, and Carson Bauman. Carson 1 for 2 here tonight. RBI singled back in the 6th. There's a live look in there at Carson. Couple of runners on here. Breaking ball in there from Trelka, and it's 0-1. That one's going to be lifted out of play. That is going to get foul. So it'll go 0-2 now to Bauman. The 0-2 pitch here from Trelka to Bauman. That one hit through the hole. That's going to be a tough play. He'll fire over, and he'll be safe. So Bauman with an infield single. His second hit here tonight. And that's going to load the bases here for Davis Winter. Davis 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. A couple of runs scored here tonight for Davis. His 5th trip to the plate here. That one misses downstairs, and it's 1-0 to Winter. That one's going to miss, and it's 2-0 now to Davis. Joe Gravine awaiting on deck for the Bulldogs here. 9-0 our score here, top half, inning number 7. Sixers do get the last call no matter what. The pitch from Trelka, that one lined foul. And it goes now to 2-1. That one fouled back, and it's even at 2-2 now to Winter. Live looking at the left-handed hitting Davis Winter here, trying to stay alive, 2-2. Pitch from Trelka, that one is going to miss just down, and it's full now to Winter. The 3-2 pitch here to Winter, that one lifted into the air. That should be playable in foul territory, and the play will be made there. So the F5 to retire Winter for the 3rd out. We'll move to the bottom half of inning number 7 here. Last call for the Sixers. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group.
Hello, Wisconsin. Felt's Dairy Store in Stevens Point is your spot for family fun, Wisconsin style at the farm. Come have an ice cream or some of their daily made fresh cheese curds while observing the robotic barn milking the cows. Ask for a tour of the farm or let the kids see the cows up close. Various Wisconsin-made dairy and beef products, seasonal decor, and outdoor activities are just the start of the family fun that awaits you at the Felt's Dairy Store, just a half mile from Walmart in Stevens Point. Felt's Dairy Store, food, family, and fun.
And the most important of those things is to have the ability to do things and treat patients in such a way that you're, that you're able to do things in such a way that you're controlling the decisions that are made, and you have that ability to change things when you feel like they're not the best things for you or for your patients, and that's really important.
All right, we are back here, bottom 7. There's a live look in at starting pitcher here, Jack Barthels, who has pitched very, very well here tonight. His squad here staked to a 9-0 lead here. He'll go through 5, 6, and 7 here. Trevor Hansen will hit here in the number 5 spot. There's a look at Jack here. Just the 3 hits given up here. The 6 Serpro Jamie Wenzel strikeouts. Trying to go the distance in this one and has looked very, very sharp here for the Bulldogs. And Trevor Hansen, that one's going to miss outside to Trevor. It's 1-0. Fastball is in there and it's 1-1. That ball fouled out to the cages here, and it's 1-2 to Hansen. That one's going to miss outside. It goes even at 2-2 now to Trevor. There's a nice live looking at number 77 there, and Trevor Hansen. That one in there. And Hansen down on strikes for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up Caleb Thomas now, who will hit in the number 6 spot here. So Caleb's first action here tonight for the Sixers. There's a nice live looking at Caleb here, getting his signs there from head coach Bobby Opiola. So the entire Sixer squad action tonight here with Allen's in there for called strike, and it's 0-1 now to Thomas. And it goes 0-2, so Barthels now up in the count, 0-2. Pitch to Thomas, a swing and a miss. So that's 8 strikeouts here tonight for Jack. That one's going to miss high to Austin Gray. It's 1-0. Austin 0 for 2 tonight. He flew out to right field in his last at-bat. That's going to miss, and it's 2-0. Fastball to Gray, and it's 2-1. Jack taking the signs from his catcher here. The 2-1 offering. And that one a dandy, and it's 2-2 now to Gray. And the fastball skips into the dirt, and it goes full now to Gray. There's a live look at that Austin here. His third plate appearance. That one hit into the air, playable. And play will be made for the third and final out here. And that's a final out here, 9-0. As Wasa comes out here with a 9-0 conference victory over the Sixers here of Stevens Point. We'll have our Nasonville Dairy postgame show coming up next is the Nasonville Dairy postgame show. Nasonville Dairy with fresh cheese curds made daily. Get your cheese curds, Nasonville Dairy in Marshfield, Curtis, or NasonvilleDairy.com. Hopefully get a few words with head coach Tom Magnuson, and I think the player, my thought anyway, would be the pitcher here in Jack Barthels, who has pitched very well in victory here tonight. You're watching American Legion Baseball and Zaleski Sports, presented by the Hoff Favor Real Estate Group. Back in a moment.
Good day. My name is Ken Hyman. Welcome to Nasonville Dairy here in central Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wisconsin, as a matter of fact. Nasonville Dairy actually goes back to 1885. We are the oldest plant in Wood County. When our father brought us here in the early 1960s, we ran 7,500 pounds of milk a day. We now run 1.8 million pounds of milk a day. We buy dairy milk from 200 dairy farmers here in central Wisconsin, produce it, and ship it all over the world. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Peach Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fury, Seco, Parma, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflatiri, Cafla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. This has allowed us to go to a lot of different countries. Our furthest accounts are now in China, Japan, Canada, Saudi Arabia. We do ship to Mexico, as well as a number of other places throughout the world. This is what we call Cheese Making 101. We tried to walk you through the cheese plant today, and we're in hopes that you see our people, what they're doing, and the amount of work that goes into producing the products that we hope you enjoy. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Peach Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fury, Seco, Parma, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflatiri, Cafla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. And the cheese be with you.
Is your business, church, or organization getting a fair deal on your copier contracts? Do you even know how much you're spending? Bauernfeind Business Technologies has been in the office technology industry for 70 years. We have an award-winning service department, and customers love our fair and flexible service contracts. If you're currently a customer, thank you. If you currently work with one of our competitors, let's talk. We can tell you if you're overpaying or getting a good deal. BBT, we want to be the easiest vendor you work with. b-bt.com
Yeah. Well, I mean, you called a really nice game, and, I think Jack did such a nice job of mixing pitches here, and he goes the complete game. Ryan, I know you had a couple RBIs as well. Anything more before we turn it over to Jack here?
No, nothing.
Got nothing. Well, don't go too far. We'll get you in the house here. We'll go here to Jack Bartholz. First of all, Jack, congratulations to you. Very well pitching effort here tonight. You give up the 3 hits to a pretty solid Stevens Point team. You go the distance, a shutout, 8 strikeouts, I believe I had you for. What were you feeling like out there tonight? Because at least from up there, you were certainly dealing and as the game kind of wore on, your pitch. I mean, I could tell that you were bringing it as you got later into the game.
I mean, I didn't really throw a bullpen before the game. We kind of skipped that part, I guess, today. So we're warming up as we were going, but throwing strikes and just having the defense make the plays were good.
Yeah, and you did just that. I mean, I think defensively you guys did well. And as Coach Tom Magnuson said, too, I mean, you guys put the bat on the ball. Certainly nice to probably go from the wood bat back to the bats you're accustomed to. Jack, anything else before we get both of you guys in our Zaleski Sports Highlight House?
No, keep her rolling. Keep her rolling tomorrow.
Keep her rolling. All right. Well, I'm going to start with Ryan. I'll start with you. I think you know the drill. I'll count you down 3, 2, 1. I'll give you the mic. I'll have you say your name and that you are in the house. So we'll go 3, 2, 1.
I'm Ryan Rodemeyer, and I'm in the house.
Ryan, fist bump there. Nice job. We'll do the same exact thing here for Jack. We'll go 3, 2, 1.
I'm Jack Bartles, and I'm in the house.
Jack Bartles, nice job, young man. That is Jack Bartles and Ryan Rodemeyer here tonight. Again, a complete game here, the 9-0 victory, conference victory. They improved to 4-0. They'll be back at Everest, as Coach said, tomorrow. And then they will be back out here this weekend for the Firecracker Classic, as obviously Stevens Point hosts that, does such a nice job out here. With Angelica and Ryan on our production, Brandon Barincott on the call here tonight. For everyone from Zaleski Sports, have yourselves a very good rest of your Tuesday night, everyone. We will see you back one of these days very shortly, I promise. Thank you so much.